And we are live. What's going on, YouTube Live? It's your boy Billy Rowe. Welcome to the first row. Long time no see. It's really good to be here tonight. I thank you guys for those who are tuning in live for tuning in today. I thank you for those who are watching for the replay or on the replay for tuning in and catching the content after. But I am so appreciative to be back, appreciative to be back on the first row and giving you guys some fresh new content. Trust me, I've been in the laboratory working, and that is kind of what has driven this particular Wednesday word. Is I'm actually on hiatus from being in the laboratory working, so now I actually have some time to create content. So with that, I'd like to welcome you to the first row. Today is Wednesday, and you know what that means. If we're live on the first row on a Wednesday, it's time for the Wednesday word. That's Wednesday word. Jumping straight into it. Tonight's topic is meet or work. As always, I like to explain what I mean by my topic. So, what do I mean by the topic meet or work? It's really simple. Either you can talk about it or you can be about it. Either you can plan, and never take action, or you can actually take the actions that you need to do to make what you want to manifest or what you want to come to the surface, make what you want to come to the surface manifest. I guess I said that backwards. But anyway, so jumping straight into it, tonight's topic, I have 3 different tools for you for on the first row. As always, I like to give you tools on how you can move from a place of simply just meeting to actually a place of where you're doing the work that you need to do to achieve what you want to achieve. So let's get straight to it. The very first tool that it comes to when it comes to meet or work is understanding that meetings are passive actions. What do I mean by that? Passive action means that you are actually doing something, but it is typically not yielding a result. Um, the best way I can articulate this is if I think about a quarterback having a huddle between plays. And so the quarterback calls the huddle. Everybody gets into the huddle. They're like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a hot route, quick out, whatever they're going to have you do. And then they go to the line of scrimmage and they say, all right, ready, set, hike. And they hike the ball and they say, you know what, let's get back into this huddle and talk about this one more time. Well, once you hike the ball, you're supposed to be in motion. And the other team who is supposed to be trying to stop you is going to go into motion. Now, that doesn't mean in life that there's going to be all these forces looking to stop you. But what that does mean is if there's something that's waiting for you to initiate and then you initiate and then don't do the action, you're going to miss the opportunity. Because if everybody goes back to the huddle in the football game, what's going to happen is the quarterback, who probably still has the ball in his hand, is going to get smashed. They're going to get hit so hard that they're going to probably be injured, and the play that they were thinking they were going to create is probably going to be popped out of their mind. A lot of times we know people who are so busy being busy and just, oh, I'm so busy. And then you ask them what they're doing and they don't really have anything that they're doing. That's what I mean by you can either meet or work. That person is in a meet mentality. They're in a passive action mentality. And what that passive action is doing is it's causing them to lose a couple of things that may be important. Number one, it can cause them to lose credibility with the allies who would help them to achieve their goals. Oh yeah, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be there. They give you their word. They tell you all these wonderful things. And then what happens is they don't execute. And because of that, they lose credibility, which means the next time they say they're going to do something, fewer and fewer people believe that they're actually going to do what they say they're going to do. So that's why it's important to understand that meetings are these passive actions that, though they can give you a great plan, if you don't execute upon the plan, then what you're left with is just being busy. It's considered busy work. The other thing about understanding why meetings are a passive action is that you don't want to get yourself caught up in these passive actions because they take real time. So just like we'll stick with this quarterback. Just like being the quarterback, it takes time. You have a certain amount of time before you can get back to the line of scrimmage and actually start your play. So it takes time to be in the huddle to actually write up or decide what the next play or the next route is going to be. And if you go back to that huddle, then what you end up having to do is burn things like timeouts. Unfortunately, when we're talking about the real world, you end up burning things like money. You end up burning things like energy. You end up burning things like relationships. These are the resources that we burn when we fail to understand and accept that meetings and planning and meetings all for naught, they come at a cost. And so um, they're not just this free experience. They come at a cost for many different reasons. So that's the very first tool that I think is very important when it comes to addressing whether you're going to meet or you're going to work. Let me stop right there and say that I don't think that meeting is a bad thing. I think that there has to be intentionality behind meeting. And if the intentionality is not there, then the meeting begins to become an energy drain or a time drain. Second tool for the first row, when it comes to meet or work. The second thing that really resonated with me when it comes to this topic is defining what the work looks like. So you can meet or plan all you want all day long, but if you don't know what the work looks like, then you don't know if you're making progress towards the goal or towards the end result that you're trying to achieve. Um, think of it like a recipe. In a recipe, you have a certain amount of ingredients and a certain number of measurements. You put all those things together, you do whatever type of culinary process needs to be done to it, and voila, you got whatever it is you were trying to do. When you define what the work looks like, it's almost like laying out the ingredients in advance. Hey, I need flour, sugar, butter, milk, bake for 300 for at 375 for 30 minutes. I'm going to get crust, whatever it may be. Defining what the work looks like allows you to say, okay, I put the flour in, check. Okay, I put the sugar in, check. Okay, I put the milk in, check. And then you're like, oh, am I missing something? Oh, I'm missing the butter. Because you've defined what the work looks like, you now understand how to measure your progress on the work that you have to do. So that is a very important aspect between choosing whether you're going to meet or work, is understanding that as you come out of the meeting, you know what you're going to do. As they come out of the huddle, they know the play they're going to do. And if the person who is supposed to get the ball doesn't know the play, what happens is they end up in the wrong space. And if the quarterback, if it's a timed play, not a I forget the other term, but if it's a time play, the quarterback releases the ball with the expectation that the person is going to go where they were supposed to go, and that failure takes place, and that person lets them down by not going to the right location. So these are the things that really are defining the work, really helps you understand what steps you're going to take, what moves you're going to make. And then it allows you, if you do have to go back to the meeting standpoint, to look at it and say, okay, these are the steps that I took that worked. These are the steps that I took that didn't work. These are the steps I forgot to take. And maybe that's why it didn't work, or that's why it didn't work as well as I thought it would work, whatever that work may be trying to achieve. So defining the work almost goes like hand in hand with the meeting. But sometimes here's the trick to this whole defining the work. Sometimes you have to define the work on the fly. If This is a really good example. So for Thanksgiving, I decided to grill a turkey, right? And I decided this on the fly because I was like, I don't want to use the oven um, to cook the turkey because I have other things that I need to cook. And so what I did was I took the turkey, I got the propane grill ready, got it to temperature and everything, put the turkey out there. And I constantly kept checking the thermostat on the grill because I wanted it to cook at a certain temperature. Well, first it's too hot. Then it comes down and it's about too low. So I move it up and it's about right. But I'm still checking the thermostat to see if there's a flare up or if the temperature goes too high. And then what ends up happening is then all of a sudden the temperature's down almost by like 100 degrees. I needed to be at, I think, 365, 370 or something like that. Now it's down at 100 degrees. And I'm like, what's going on? I know the turkey's not cooking at 100 degrees because I have the pilot set and I had got the temperature where I wanted it. Well, it turns out I ran out of propane in the middle because I typically don't grill in the wintertime or in the fall. And so I run out of propane and I go to get my backup propane canister, and that is empty. So then I have to go and actually get propane. But what this is me defining what the work looks like. I'm defining that there's supposed to be a temperature that I'm going to sit at in order to have this turkey in the next 2 hours and 45 minutes. And because I defined what the work looked like, I was able to identify when things were getting off track. I didn't sit and set it and forget it and hope 2 hours and 45 minutes later that, there's a turkey. No, there would have been a raw bird in the grill. And then we would have been like, I guess we're just having ham. So this is another reason why defining the work or what the work looks like is important, because sometimes on the fly, you have to redefine the work. I had to redefine, I need to go and find a place that's going to be able to fill this propane tank and then get this back here and then get this up and running so that it's ready to go by the time I'm ready to cook or to carve the turkey. And so that is, again, tool number 2, define what the work looks like. Realize that that also will help you if you need to define what the work looks like on the fly. And then the third and the final tool when it comes to meet or work is create action items. And you can create action items whether you're meeting or you're working, but it's best for you to create the action items in the meeting, because that's what will begin to create accountability around what you're going to do. Again, the meeting is a passion action. So if you're going to take this time, or if you're going to drain this resource, whatever it may be, then you want to make sure that when you get done with spending that time or spending that resource, that you're going to come out and know clearly what you want to do or what you are setting out to accomplish. This is a little different, though, than defining what the work looks like. The action item is like, this is what my end result is to be. So, for instance, if I'm in a meeting and it's like, hey, Billy, we need you to get this report done by Friday. Defining what the work looks like says on Monday, I got to do this. Tuesday, I got to do this. Wednesday, I got to do this. Thursday, I got to do this. Creating the action item itself is on Friday, I got a report due. I have something that I need to have delivered by this time frame. And that is what creates the accountability for me to then turn around and define what the work looks like, even sometimes on the fly. Hey, look, the system's not running this fast. I might have to define on the fly that I need to ask for more time, or I need to work a couple more hours. The other thing that creating actions does is it really cements the whole purpose of a meeting. So again, there's no problem with meeting or working. It's just that you have to be intentional in both spaces. I can't say I want to meet and we're going to talk about all these different things. And great, that was a great meeting. If we didn't set any action items, then all that was a great conversation. Great. We're all inspired. And there's some things that we thought about and talked about that's it. And so creating the action items, again, creates that accountability. And it's how we avoid falling back into that trap of that busy work mentality where we're meeting to meet and we're not going to do anything. And then we meet to meet and then we're not going to do anything. It becomes this cycle of meet to do nothing. Where you break that cycle is I'm meeting and now I know what the action item is. I complete the action item and now we have a meeting about what was completed and the results about that. And then we can have another meeting that either starts a new action item or a new task or a new project or a new passion. And then after we have that meeting, I now know the action items and I move back in. Other than that, what you do is you meet and you meet and you meet. So that is the 3 tools that I came up with. Really quickly, I want to go over them again. The first tool being understand that meetings are passion actions. I keep saying passion, are passive actions. They sound good, but until there's substance added, it's just a passive action. The second bullet point is define what the work looks like. This is what's going to help you measure your progress, and it's going to determine when you're moving forward, when you're moving off track, and things of that nature. And then the third tool is basically how we avoid falling back into the meeting or talking or busy to be a busy track, which is create action items whenever you do have a meeting. So those are the 3 bullet points. As always, with the first row on the Wednesday word, I like to share a personal story that kind of got me thinking about this thought. And actually, I thought about this thought couple months back, actually. I was meeting with a business mentor of mine who was sharing some information with me, and he's super busy, like all the time. So when we can meet, I try to take advantage of those moments. Um, and he just kind of said, like, look, you can either meet or you can work. At some point, the meeting is great, but you still have to do the work. And he wasn't referring to like my work ethic or anything, but he was just saying for himself, I'm super busy because I can either meet with people or I can do the work that I'm here to do. And what that drove in me was an understanding that because sometimes our meetings get canceled, sometimes our meetings get pushed, at the end of the day, the work is my responsibility. At the end of the day, I don't not meet with him and then not have an action item for myself. I still hold myself accountable. I still define what the work is going to look like so that the next time we come together and we have an opportunity to meet, I can give him an update and let him know these are the things that I'm currently working on. I'm not dead in the water in the time that we don't get to meet. And that's really what this conversation is about today, is about don't allow yourself to fall stagnant or to become stagnant, um, because all you're doing is meeting, but you're not doing the work that is associated with the progress that you truly want to make. Um, but that's it. That's what I got for you guys today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the Wednesday word. It feels good, like I said, to be back. I'm still trying to figure out what the cadence will look like because I have some exciting things coming up in Q1 of 2022. I cannot wait to share those things with you. But I will let you know this. I will be back next week on the 8th of December. I have another topic that has been kind of rolling around in my head that I want to share with you. And that is the topic of don't take the journey for granted. I hope you'll join me live for that video. But if you don't catch me live, you can always catch me on the replay. As always, I thank you guys for tuning in and watching the first row, tuning in and supporting everything this channel has done and continues to do. I look forward to the next time that we can engage. Until the next time, if you like this video, share it. If you share it, like it. I'm always happy to engage with you in the live chat or in the comments via the replay for the first week. And then other than that, until the next time, one love, peace, and God bless. Thanks for sitting on the first row.